So I was just having a conversation with a business owner, and she was talking to me about how she's taking a lot of my work from social media that I do, from my LinkedIn posts and from my Facebook, uh, and applying it. And she said, "Roz, I'm not getting the same results that you're getting." And what I want to do is I want to kind of summarize the conversation that I had with her and share with you. Although you may be applying the techniques or strategy that you feel like you need to apply, but why would they not be working? So we're going to talk about that. All right, stay tuned. Real question is this: as a business, as an investor, as someone whose success lies in getting in front of the right people, people who will do business with us, how do we break through obscurity? How do we break through the noise? How do we showcase our message, our opportunities, and our offers in front of the right people? That is the question, and this show has the answer. My name is Raza Aziz. Welcome to The Bold Entrepreneur. So here's the thing, a lot of times we have blueprints in front of us, right? Like a lot of times we look at things as like, okay, if I want to do this, this is what I need to do. This is what that person did, so I'm going to do the same thing. You look at their actions, and I'm a huge fan of that of mentors and guides and people who can give me a shortcut to doing something. I'm a huge fan of that. And even on my pages, on my the content that I produce, I always talk about mentors and having the blueprints and everything like that, and that is still valid. And you start copying or you start doing the same actions, like they put it, let's just say you're doing social media and somebody puts these kind of captions on their on their post, and you decide to do the same thing, right? And lo and behold, they have 50, 100 likes and whatever shares on their post, and you have crickets. Why is that? So there are a lot of things that are going on here. And that's just one example. A lot of times, you could be in the same business as somebody else, and you're promoting the same product or you're promoting the same service, but your results are different. You're doing the same thing that the other person is doing, but why is it not working? So I want to unpack this. I want to tackle a couple of points here, and hopefully it makes a difference for you because I want you to be mindful. So, anyways, I was having this conversation with the business owner, and she was talking about her business and everything like that. And while she was talking to me about it, there was an underlying tone that I heard of something, and I said to her, I said, "Why do you want to do this business? Why? Like, what's the big deal?" And then what came out of her mouth gave me I guess content for this video, and also gave me insight into why people sometimes don't succeed at doing the thing that they think they're doing and they should succeed at. Okay. um so one of the things, and this is very common amongst a lot of people, and so she said to me, she went and she's like, there are so many people who thought that I couldn't do this, and I want to show them that I could do it. And I'm just so disappointed and embarrassed that I have not been able to achieve the kind of success that I should have achieved by now. And right there was an entrepreneur who has a huge desire to accomplish big things, but the way they're going about it doesn't allow them to move forward. I don't know if you're catching this. You see, I always say this is like how you do certain things make a huge impact. The energy that you bring, the enthusiasm that you bring, all of that stuff makes a huge impact. When you are dealing with customers, when you're chatting with potential buyers and prospects online, when you're engaging in conversation with your customers outside, how you're running your physical store or your online business, doesn't matter. The energy that you're running it with will come through in your tone, in your being, in the way you say things. When a person when a person inside, when especially a business owner, an entrepreneur, when they inside are primarily thinking about is like, I want to show these people that I can do it. It's not, the business is not even about them anymore and the things that they wish to accomplish. Some people say out there that it's a great motivator, that go, and anger is a great motivator. Sure. But for a lot of people it's not, right? And it actually hinders their entrepreneurial performance. And so for me, I look at it, with me, there are lots of people who said I wouldn't be able to do this, or I can't do this, or he's still doing this and all that stuff. And quite frankly, I'm not worried about them. I really don't care. To me, what the number one motivation for my personal accomplishment is really my family. That's it. I look here. I could care less what people are thinking. And I think that's one of the traits of highly successful, highly efficient people. And that's what I want to dive into here. I want to talk about, when people are doing business, especially a lot of the newer entrepreneurs, whether you're running an online or an offline business, there are three traits that you want to develop inside of your personality, and do you want to learn to emulate those, so that the things that you're doing, you're effective at it. Okay, hope that makes sense. So grab a notepad and pen. I want to unpack that with you right now. Okay, so anyways, when she said this to me, I really knew, like, one of the biggest things that's holding her back is, one, her conversation in her own head, right? So she's embarrassed and disappointed. I mean, if a person is embarrassed and disappointed, how do you think they're going to show up? Right? How they are going to show up for others, how they are going to show up in their business, how they're going to show up with their conversations, how they're going to show up with customer interactions and all of that stuff, right? So regardless of what social media tactics they use, or what ad tactics they use, or what, kind of pretty things they put in front of their business, all of that stuff, the person who is doing it is not bringing the energy needed to succeed at that, because they're too busy beating themselves up, right? And I want you to, if you are finding yourself in this conversation, I want you to stop that. That's why I want to give you three. I want to give you three traits of effective execution and being efficient at what you do. Okay, so number one of the things that you will realize with people who succeed at anything, any new thing, or anything that they have a history of doing it, is they are very driven. They are very driven. They're independently driven. They don't need outside factors to be driving them, right? They are driven. They have this pizzazz about making something happen. And they're not going necessarily going out there to, show people that, hey, I can do this or anything like that. There might be few, but majority of the people that you see who are at a platform, they're just absolutely driven. It just seems like that whatever obstacles come their way, they just kind of blast through it. And you always wonder, you're sitting there like, how are they doing this? And I remember I used to think of it that way until my mentor, sat me down and talk about being driven and really tapping into motivations of why you're doing what you're doing. And it really stems from that why. And listen, I'm not talking about, you know, um, some people say my why is I want to have endless time for vacation, and I want to sit at the beach for, with my feet in the sand, right? And that's fine. That's a retreat. That's something that you want to do. But I bet you, you start doing that for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Okay, I'll give you 4 weeks. Like you're gonna be going insane. You're gonna be like, I need to get out of here. I need to get out of here, right? Because driven people are always on a mission. They are doing things. They are being contributions to society. They are making a difference. If they're not in their business, they're with their families. They are, treating them. They're helping them. Um, you'll find them being very charitable. All of that stuff with their time and their money, right? So you want to be driven, have a mission in life that you want to accomplish for yourself, for your family, for the things that are important to you. Instead of looking at it like, I'm going to show that person, I'm going to show that person, I'm going to show that person. It doesn't really work that way. Okay. So that's number one, being driven. Okay. And look it up, and maybe I'll make some of the other videos on just specifically this particular topic. Number two, so let's talk about that. Number two is you want to be absolutely bulletproof. What does that mean? Bulletproof, when you embark on a journey to do something out of the ordinary, when you embark on a journey to challenge the status quo or do something out of the ordinary, you're uh, people around you are not doing it. What's going to happen is a lot of others out there, people who know you, sometimes it's your closest family and friends, are going to give you some unsolicited opinion, right? Unsolicited opinion. And and as you embark on this journey, you cannot be shaken by those opinions. Bulletproof means that outside influences cannot take you out of the game, right? You listen, I don't I'm it's not about not being human. Of course you're human, and it does matter what sometimes, your spouse says or your kids say or your mom or dad or whoever, right? It does. It can matter. It's okay. And you're bulletproof, right? You are bulletproof. Think of it this way. If you watch any of the superhero movies, a superhero as a superhero, but when they take on a mission and they put on this cape, this uniform, the Iron Man puts on the Iron Man suit, the Spider-Man puts on the Spider-Man suit, and or for Superman, it's the cape and whatever, right? They take on a persona, right, of being bulletproof. They will boldly go into danger to save lives. The mission is more important than themselves. The mission is more important. Serving others, being of contribution, defending against injustice, all that stuff, right? So bulletproof is being that you're not shaken up by other people's opinion around you, and that means you need to be solid on what you're doing, why you're doing it, and how you're doing it. Okay, so that's number two. And number three, I'm sure you've heard of people that, successful people are readers or knowledge seekers, right? I'm going to tweak it a little bit. People who are efficient, people who get stuff done, and people who are effective and efficient with the things that they are doing is because they are knowledge doers, not just knowledge seekers. So, what do I mean by knowledge doers? Knowledge doers are people who actually aim to get knowledge to execute, not get knowledge for the sake of just getting knowledge. Listen, I'll tell you this. I mean, when you read something and you learn something new, all of a sudden, have you ever felt that it's like you have this eureka moment? You're like, oh my gosh, right? This is dopamine, massive amount of dopamine getting released in your body, right? So when you don't do anything with that knowledge, you're simply never getting the result from it. You get addicted to that dopamine hit. And then you just go into an endless loop of reading books and going to seminars and looking at videos and then more YouTube videos and all of that stuff because you're addicted to that dopamine hit. You need to snap out of that and actually take the knowledge like, okay, how can I apply this knowledge in my day or in my week or in the thing that I'm doing. Because highly efficient people are knowledge doers, not just knowledge seekers. Okay. And listen, as you go about being this person, being driven, being bulletproof, and becoming knowledge doer, it's not going to be easy, right? It's not going to be easy. But then again, why is easy a criteria in anything, anyways? Right? Let's just put ease aside, because if we are going to do something out of the ordinary, it's not going to be easy. Let's just agree to that. It's not easy. It's going to require you to build new skills. It's going to require you to think differently. It's going to require you to become another person, because who you are today is not the same person that you were 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago. So you're constantly evolving. And that is one of the reasons why I don't believe in this whole idea of you just got to you just got to be yourself. No, sometimes we need to stop doing the things that we are doing. And sometimes we need to start doing the things that we're not doing, right? Sometimes we have to learn new things in order to achieve new goals. We have to develop new skills. So we are constantly changing. We're not fixed people. Do you agree with me? Right? So I want you to take these three traits, put them on your whiteboard, put them on a sheet of paper, put them in your phone or something like that. And if you find yourself beating yourself up and being disappointed in yourself and being embarrassed, and you're doing something to show other people, well, you're putting really undue pressure on yourself, right? Do it for yourself. Do it for your family. Right? Do it for the causes that are important to you. And notice how the same things that you are doing, the same words, they land differently on people. Let me know what you think. Have a good one, everybody. I'll see you around again. Bye.